Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Here's Alday.
What is going on with fixing GAC? Welcome back to Islanders. Welcome to a positive video about CG, a positive video about SWGOH, a video where we propose a solution to GAC. I'm going to talk through it in detail, and well, you can argue down below in comments whether or not you think this is a viable solution. Would you be up for it? Would you like it? Anyway, let's talk about the problem we have. So, the GAC is being devalued at the moment. Like it or hate it, because CG are struggling for bandwidth, and they also don't really make any money from GAC. GAC is a PvP. If you win a lot or spend a lot, you just face somebody higher, so there's not really that incentive to spend a lot of money on GAC. But a lot of people love it as a game mode. It's competitive. It's one where you can play against your friends. It's one of which you can enjoy the game and enjoy using your characters, and you can make a spectacle of it. Content creators out there love sort of streaming this on stream. I do it on Twitch. Welcome to Samplies. Please drop me a follow. Please come and watch. But CG are struggling for bandwidth, and therefore they also don't really know what to do about GAC. You can tell, otherwise they've done it by now. The simplistic thing would be to make the board bigger, but that it would be massively unpopular because people are already spending too much time on the game mode. So they need to find a way to make the board smaller without but also bigger at the same time. So they're kind of stuck. So they're also, as this airs in episodes, they're guaranteeing or committing to launching a huge number of new teams and new characters into the game. We'll probably get another GL towards the end of the year or into the start of next year. We're going to get a raid at some point. We've got the Bad Batch team that we talked about in the video, the last video. We have the upcoming Jocasta Nu. We have GL Ahsoka Tano, all of which have and Balin, all of which is really to kind of find their space in the game. They don't really have that exclusive content for them. So they're all kind of sitting there. We're all farming them, we're unlocking them, but they are the last thing we should be working on. So, CG is not able to fix it, or unwilling, or whatever. So, I propose to you that we as a community could actually fix GAC ourselves. Now, let me explain. So, imagine a world where we had a Discord server, a new Discord server, a massive Discord server that was run by the people that are good at these things. We've got the Hot Util people, the SWGOH events people. We have many other sort of services or Discords, even community Discords, people like Arnold's Discord, things like that, with very, very high numbers of people. But we have a Discord where we are going to run a brand new GAC seasons. Not run by CG, but run by the community. Let me explain. So, you join this Discord server and you register your account to take part in the new rules system. So far, quite simple. The registration system. You give your ally code, you register to it, you're part of that system. If you get enough people to do that, then what happens is that every time you are up against a bracket, you will be able to search in that bracket how many people are also registered and joined for the new rules. So, we already have a system now that's going to tell you which of the people, if you face them, are going to play by, shall we call it the community rules? The chosen rules. If you match up with somebody else that's in that Discord server who's registered to play by the new rules, then you drop them an in-game message saying new rules or whatever. They go, yep. And what you do is you then stick to whatever rules have been chosen by the community for that GAC. Now, I would propose that we actually have, shall we say, a fluid system. Everyone in the community can propose rules. Some of them could be fun. We can have no GLs for a GAC season. We can have light side only on defense or dark side only on defense. We can have one that has set characters not allowed, whatever. But we keep the rules relatively simple so that people across different languages or different, understanding of the game can still follow them. We also try and keep the rules that will work from all different levels. But you know what, if need be, we could have rules for different chromiums, kybers, etc. If a no GL rule is going to have absolutely no effect on a certain area or a certain bracket of people, then they have a separate rule that says no G-notions or something like that. But those rules are chosen by the community. We also vote on those rules regularly. If we hate a rule, we can get rid of the rule. And if a rule is unpopular, or if an event is unpopular, it immediately gets changed or swapped out. But that will take a little bit of time. So the rules get chosen and proposed by the community. And if you register and your opponent register, you message in game saying, do you want to play by these rules? Yes. Simple yes. All using the tools. And then you just play GAC going by the rules that that server has set for that season. What happens? Well, if you win, you get a point. If you lose, you get none. If you cheat, you lose one. Now, I know what you're saying, oh god, everyone will cheat. That's fine. There's going to be no... You know what? If you want to cheat 50 times, then that's cool. You're not going to... This is us policing ourselves. We're not going to lose it at you. But as far as the leaderboard that matters, the leaderboard inside the server, you're going to be on minus 400. And when anytime somebody matches with you, they will see your record that says 1-8, lost none, cheated 8 times. And everyone's going to look at that and go, well, okay, I won't propose we play by the new rules to you because you don't have a good track record. So people are sort of managing their own reputation. But you know what? Nobody's going to be thrown out the server. Nobody's going to be managed. It's simply a thing that can be managed simply by statistics. And if by cheating, all you need is a little screen grab, you say, well, look, this happened. That person cheats and they lose. No discussion, no whatever. Okay. And what does that do? Well, it means that we actually determine who is the best player at the game. We determine who is the person who can play with only light side characters or only dark side characters, or who can play without their GLs, or who can play without certain characters. But it allows us to change those rules without any programming and only by changing a few lines in a Discord on a rules thing. That means that we can keep it as fluid as we want as a community. We don't need to be like suddenly, it doesn't take a long time, if that makes sense. So we can change it as often as we want or as little as we want. But we as a community then take control from CG. We take control of what the meta will be. We take control of what we want to promote. And if we want to make sure that you have to place the new Bad Batch team, Sad Batch team, then everyone has to put it down. No matter whether they've unlocked it at 3-star or whatever, it has to go down on defense. That sort of thing is what I'm talking about. That allows us to have a bit of fun with the game. It will certainly promote more theory crafting because certain teams will be missing certain key characters depending on what rules we would all vote on. And you can end up in a world where, we all are reinvigorated. We're all reinvigorated with a more fun GAC, a more different GAC. And imagine what it'll do to the visual presentations that people are putting on of this game. Instead of the same battles over and over again, the same trudge. I mean, imagine a world where we actually said, do you know what, in 3s, instead of 5 teams per zone, we're going to make it 3. That's it. That's the rule. Imagine everybody sort of scrambling going, okay, well I need to, imagine that sort of thing. Imagine the variation to the content creators. Imagine content creators who are really, really good at the game, people like Playbook, people like Calvin, Arnold, all these people that understand the kits, that know how to blend and mix people together to create really sort of different and interesting things. It'd be absolutely incredible because it wouldn't just be the same. And then look at the content creators on YouTube, the amount of theory crafting videos. The amount of, okay, here's your standard 3v3 teams that are going to be the meta. Oh, but the SWGO event store Discord or the community GAC is going to have this rule in play. Therefore, here's a few teams I would suggest. You're doubling the number of content. You're increasing the excitement in the game. You're increasing people going onto YouTube to consume Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. It's a crazy plan. It needs someone. It needs a call to action. It needs you guys out here watching this video to approach people. People that run things like Hot Utils, the SWGO event server. People with very, very large servers, and drop this video or link this video to them, or just give them a pressy that this might be something that they could possibly consider. Because you know what, if they got on board, if they were the ones who eventually brought this to the game, oh, they would be, well, they'd have a hell of an opportunity. They'd have so many people visiting their Discord server, they would blow everyone else out of the water. So there's a lot of, should we say, incentive for somebody with the skills and talent, which I do not have, the skills and talent to be able to put this sort of thing together. So let me know. This would elevate things. If you all talk about your favorite GACs you remember, well, the favorite GACs you probably remember was when one content creator went up against another one, and there was this special rule set that only they had because they'd managed it between the two of them. Imagine you had that excitement. Imagine the most exciting GAC you remember was one of yours, because you were the one that got to play that different variated game, and it was all run very, very quickly through Discord without too much other changes in game. And you know what? No great penalties, nobody's spending time doing anything in game. Nobody's having to do any programming in the background. There wouldn't be any bugs. It would simply be certain characters would not be allowed for certain GACs, and it would rotate round in a way that we would all agree with. And if we didn't need to join, because you would always have the option of, if I didn't agree with that month's community rules, I could unregister for a month. There you go. Simply, I've unregistered, or I say to my opponent, no, I'm not going to do it this month, or I don't like these rules, these don't suit me, I want to do a proper one. You'd have that option. You actually have created two GACs you can play. You can play the vanilla one that CG have, or you can play the community one. And you can opt in and out of them. You don't need to, you're never fixed on with them. You just need to be clear with your opponent whether or not you are going to do the community one, and if you are, you have to stick to it. Well, if you don't stick to it and cheat, you don't get a point. But anyway, that's the proposal. If you agree or disagree, put a thing down below. If you don't really care, just show me your best emote. I don't really mind. Just put something down below, hit the like, hit the subscribe, check in for the next episode. We will get back onto a more proper schedule now. We had a bit of an issue last week, but do not worry about that. Everyone, look after yourself. Look after yourself, Islanders. I told you this would be a positive one. We are going to fix this game, and as a community, we can. Enjoy your SWGOHs. May the force be with you. Look after yourself.